This is Console Crapshoot. What we do here is we spin this wheel to play a random video game on my original hardware setup. And as always, my dog Carl picks the game and decides whether or not he's going to torture us this week. Okay, the Sega Genesis. Been a while since we got the Genesis, but I'm always happy to see it. It was my childhood main. 703 games left on that wheel. Beavis and Butthead. This is a funny one. This is another game that I used to rent all the time when I was a kid. I didn't buy it because I wasn't completely sold on it. It wasn't super fun, but I was a big Beavis and Butthead fan at the time. I loved the show. The game was really, really funny, and it was hard. You never knew what to do. It was really vague. You know, there was a Super Nintendo version of Beavis and Butthead, and theirs was a completely different game, and it was kind of just a generic side-scroller. It was boring, and while it had more action, this one was funnier and was more fun. It had more of a personality than that one. And it's weird looking at it now with older eyes, especially after doing this show. You know what it reminds me of is 3 episodes ago we played Alf for the Sega Master System. Also a game based on a television show, and also a game where you roam around not knowing what to do in the town of the character. A little bit of combat here and there, but it's more of like finding what you need to do to unlock the next part of the game. When I started playing this now, and again, I played it a ton when I was younger, all I could think of, it took me right to Alf. It's kind of the same game, except it's better. In the opening cinematic, they get guar tickets, and the guar tickets get ripped up by a lawnmower, and you got to go around town finding the pieces of the tickets. By the way, kids, this is guar, if you don't know. And yeah, like Alf, it's another one where you kind of need a guide. You need to know early in the game to get these scissors so that at the end of the game, you can cut this rope. You need to get the camera, and then you need to explode the slushy machine thing, so that later when you take pictures of this giant lady in the back of her car and she chases you, she slips on the slushy and then you get her piece of the ticket. 12-year-old me had a real hard time figuring this out, but there was something about the game where I kept coming back. I kept renting it. I think I must have rented it at least 6 times. But yeah, that's pretty much the gameplay. Go all the way across town to find this bone, come all the way back, use it to distract the dog so that you can get the chainsaw and the fishing pole. Use the chainsaw on the tree, get a piece of ticket. Use the fishing pole to also get a piece of ticket, and also use other items to pull things into the house to get clues. Make a guy eat fries with a dead rat in it so that he throws up, and for some reason your piece of your ticket's in his throw up. The guy just happened to eat your ticket off the ground, I guess. And there's 2 endings. You could beat the game and you can get to the guar show and be in the audience watching the show, but I actually did the full thing where I got backstage and then I was on stage in like leather slave outfits, dancing with the band, kind of dancing with the band, just falling and being weird. But I was never able to do this as a kid, but internet, guides, videos, it's great. So what did we think of Beavis and Butthead for the Sega Genesis? Yeah, again, I prefer this one to the Super Nintendo one. It's just kind of a boring game. And this one isn't great either. There was some really good Beavis and Butthead PC games. This one's lacking in the gameplay department. Again, just kind of like Alf. But it did a better job than Alf. It's funnier than Alf. I mean, the subject matter's funnier. Alf is stupid. This brought me back to how much I love this show, and actually, I did recently watch the new episodes that are on. I think they're on Paramount Plus. I watched them on Amazon Prime. They're way better than the originals. Like, that show got even funnier. So if you liked it when you were a kid, I wouldn't recommend playing this game. I'd recommend going watching the new episodes because they're pretty good. And there's a new movie on there too. But anyway, back to the game. The gameplay itself is bad, but the presentation is good. The humor is good. It's colorful. There's a lot of variety in the clues and the puzzles. Overall, I'm going to say it's meh, probably a high 2 out of 5. Would have been a 3 because of the humor and graphics, but the controls and gameplay just aren't quite there. Okay, that's another one in the books. I hope you enjoyed it. There's still a bazillion games for us to play on the show, so join us next week when we bang another one out. Looking forward to it. See you then.